Hello Transformers fans and welcome. This is David Lees with a comic book review of Transformers issue 15. It's been a couple of weeks since this was released, so it's been a little delayed on my part, but we'll get straight into it. I'm pleased, very pleased to see Megatron and his Decepticon logo front and centre on the cover, and the Decepticon icon emblem in the background, along with some of the Decepticon soldiers. We've got Soundwave, Shockwave, Windblade, and another one I'm not quite sure about. But yeah, I've said before that the tempo and the speed and the pace, if you like, of the Transformers comic is entirely dependent on Megatron. He is the one driving the story forwards. The Autobots following along slowly, incompetently, as I've said before. Really nice to see Megatron, and he does feature quite heavily in this issue. The recap of where we were up to last time. It's been a few weeks for me, but a few minutes just for you. Soundwave appears on the scene where there's a conflict. Some Sentinel rebels holding out in the body of a Titan. Some other Autobots trying to flush them out. Soundwave comes along, takes along his metal staff, and then proceeds, without anyone else realising, to set off a bomb. The problem that the Decepticons have is this example here, this guy blabbing the mouth off, shooting the mouth off about whatever's going on, barricade, and all the other things that the Decepticons are trying to do secretly, quietly and slowly, and Megatron is finding his hand being continually forced by Shockwave and events that are slightly out of his control, events that he set in motion but that are escalating beyond his control. And as Megatron puts it at the bottom, we're in a race against catastrophe now. One misstep and we all fall. So he doesn't want to push things too quickly, otherwise the Autobots will start arming, I guess. Key players this time: Sentinel Prime, Bumblebee, Orion, Chromia, Shockwave, and of course the Megatron himself. So we kick off with Sentinel Prime addressing the Autobots. Let me see if I can get this a little closer. It looks really small this week. And he said, the Decepticons offer you only lies, false justifications for false solutions to false problems. It's very political. Sentinel Prime doing his best to keep things under control, keep things peaceful and amenable, while Megatron is trying to push his agenda and Shockwave is just spoiling everything. Literally, he's just running interference on almost both sides. So that's kind of the state of play. And I will get you in focus. They promise unlimited energon, unlimited forgings, unlimited expansion, as if such simplicities can answer every question. So it's a political discussion. Nice to see this revisited. It has been slow on the boil. It's just been simmering away for months. But the Decepticons, the Sentinels, whoever, are constantly pushing for unlimited forgings, unlimited energon, all those other things. I'd love to see at some point somebody do something with the energon stores that we saw months ago, and the solar collector that they have in orbit. That was just pages wasted at the moment. So we'll see if anything happens to those. The truth is, they want you to surrender to the violence of the rise. They would give the murderers what they want. That's not strength. That will not bring us peace or order. Megatron looks at Orion Pax. He wanted all of this deployed against the rise, not against us. Overruled again. So Megatron still playing both ends. The Sentinels or the rise against Orion Pax. Orion Pax hasn't got a clue, in my personal opinion. We see here Megatron recharging on energon. Remember, there's energon rationing is in place, but Megatron is getting a fairly hefty dose from Shaxus, or however he's pronounced, and he wants all of it. That's very Megatron. So he gets the energon flow, and then we go into a flashback. You'll see the colours desaturate across the bottom of the page here. Megatron goes off into a flashback. What does it matter if time is shared, if the lives it measures are different? Nobody sees the same as anything else. Nobody. Going back to a time when he laboured as a miner in the energon mines, I guess. Then he went into the arena and became a gladiator. Then the war. I'd love to see more about this, against the threefold spark, Exarchon, as he's called here. Exarchon, I know of you, an enemy, but one who might be of use. But it turns out that Megatron is saved by an unlikely combination of Warpath, who's looking pretty good, Flak and Blitzwing. And for those who are counting, Blitzwing's transformation is the one for this issue. and it's a triple change if you like. It goes from a flight mode to a tank mode, and that's your transformation. Skywarp saves the threefold spark, and we sort of see this flashback. Not a lot to say. It's one thing I will say is that it was pretty drab and difficult to understand in pale purples and grey. Lovely to turn the page and get an eye full of primary colours. Really like this artwork on this page. The artist here done a cracking job. Really pleased. Looking at the Decepticons who got killed by Soundwave and his staff. Bumblebee's informing on Decepticon progress. They think Frenzy killed Brainstorm. Soundwave brought Frenzy and Rumble into intelligence. Interesting that. Soundwave, Frenzy and Rumble. Something else you should know. It's probable that Barricade passed information to the Rise, and he told someone how to find the Void who saw Brainstorm's murder. So Barricade got Rubble killed. Bumblebee still looks silly to me, being so small and yet apparently being so experienced. He just comes across as a bit of a fool. Barricade got Rubble killed, and that's a suspicion. The Autobots got very little to go on. Certainly incompetent and inept, as I've said before. Meanwhile, Megatron is out and pretty much taking control. It's really good to see Megatron driving the agenda and moving it forwards. We fought the war against the threefold spark to protect something what we would have in the future. It didn't work out that way, so Megatron was becoming disillusioned. He thought the war against the threefold spark would liberate Cybertron. Our losses were not made good. There was no glory in victory, only fear. This is right down at the bottom. Starship construction yards were dismantled. Energy on rations declined. I watched Cybertronians forget who they were. So Megatron is kind of mourning